Hello. It's Will from Soundabout. Gonna wait a minute or so while people join us. This is Little Soundabout, session 15. Send us a comment, just so I know someone's out there. I can read your comments and you can hear me. I may have to fiddle with my settings a bit if there's no comments coming in. Hey Joe, thumbs up. Okay. Well, I think we'll just wait another minute. Hey Emma. While some people join us. Good morning. Make sure you can see the sign. Who's out there? Do say hello in the comments and I can sing hello to the young person you're with. So this is Little Soundabout, session 15. And these are music sessions to help support parents, carers and siblings in making music and interacting in a multi-sensory way with early years children with complex needs. And we are referring to our Little Soundabout cards. Today, we're going to look at card number 5. Helping young people make sounds on their own in whatever way they can, and trying to think about different ways to use sound makers to suit the movements and needs of your young people. We're also going to look at card 8. So we're going to think about sound makers in a multi-sensory way. How can we get feedback from them, not just from sound, but from touch and smell and sight? If you have any sound makers handy, try and grab ones that might be interesting to touch or look at, as well as make a sound with. I've got a bit of bubble wrap that I'm going to be using later. If you can put your hands on some bubble wrap, brilliant. And I'm also going to whiz through lots of other different ways to make sounds. I've put some shells in a bowl for maybe a hand to explore. And I've got a little bowl of soapy water. I won't put my hand in it yet. You can either find these now or watch back or just take the advice and do it in your own time. So lots of sound makers. I think we'll start with version 1 of the Music Time song. Music time to sing and play. Sing and play along, come and join us. Come and join us in the circle now. In the circle now, it's music time. Hey Margot! Music time to sing and play. Hey Jessica! Sing and play along, come and join us. Come and join us in the circle now. In In the circle now, it's music time. In the circle now, it's music time. Hi, so we've got Margot, Sophie, out of hospital and back to join in. Fantastic. Jessica is here. Great to see you, Jessica. Hope you are recovering well. I'm going to play the music time song on a different instrument now, as we usually do. And today, it's going to be the bass guitar. So let's see what your young people think about very low sounds. Here's my bass guitar. And we've got some very low sounds. I'm going to get the volume right for you. I think we're there. Music time to sing and play. Sing and play along, come and join us. Come and join us in the circle now. In the circle now, it's music time. Music time to sing and play. Sing and play along, come and join us. Come and join us in the circle now. In the circle now, it's music time. Music time to sing and play. Sing and play along, come and join us. Come and join us in the circle now. In the circle now, it's music time. In the circle now, it's music time. We'll speed up. In the circle now, it's music time. In the circle now, it's music time. One more time. In the circle now, it's music time. Okay, that was bass guitar. What did your young people think about that? So, let's do a little chant to say hello to everybody. And today, in the chant, I'm going to use an app that I'll explain about later. It's completely free and very accessible, and we'll talk about it towards the end. Margot holding her foil and moved it quickly when I sped up. Great, I've got some foil as well. Wonderful. So we've got Margot and Jessica. If anyone else is out there, let me know the names and we can add them to our chant. So here are some sounds. Let's just check them out. So I'm going to let you hear these sounds along with the chant, and I'll explain the app later, because that's part of one of our cards, is using apps to create sounds. So we've got Jessica. Jessica's here. Jessica's here. Jessica's here. Jessica's here. And Margot's here. Margot's here. Margot's here. Margot's here. Anyone else out there who wants to be part of our chant? Let's give Jessica a different sound while we find out if there's anyone else wanting to join us. Jessica's here. Jessica's here. Jessica's here. Jessica's here. Margot's joining in when I sing Jessica. Okay, Margot, let's see if Jessica joins in when I sing Margot. Who did I just sing? Right, so I'm going to sing Margot. Margot's here. Margot's here. Margot's here. Margot's here. Was anyone anticipating that sound? There's a link in the description below to this selection of apps. This is one of a few experiments by Google, who've worked with some different creative technology experts. Lots of smiles from Margot. And we'll talk about it later. So we'll come back to this. What's nice about it is, as well as touching it, you can set it up to track a body part, be it an elbow, a nose, a foot, a chin. We'll talk about that later. Okay. So Margot had some foil. And we're going to talk about the multi-sensory approach to making sounds or interacting with sound makers. So thinking about how can whatever the item is, in this case foil, be interesting to look at, and you can see how it catches the light. What can you see? What can you see? What can you see? And we can go through the senses and think about some different ways to interact with it. I mean, foil hasn't got much of a smell, but it's certainly got a feel to it. How does it feel? Crinkly. It's so crinkly. It's so crinkly. It's so crinkly. And of course, different ways. How does it feel in different places? Margot's exploring foil. And different ways a young person might want to make a sound with it. So that might be kicky feet near it. It might be a different body part, waving it. Might be really close to an ear and crinkling it. Actually, emergency blankets are a bit better than foil. They're a bit crinklier. We've got some new friends, so I'm just going to say hello to Anouk and Claire. Anouk is here. Anouk is here. Anouk is here. Anouk is here. Jessica's here. Jessica's here. Jessica's here. Jessica's here. Margot's here. Margot's here. Margot's here. Margot's here. Oh, we've got Claire as well, have we? Sophie. Claire's a parent, I think. Massive grins from Margot. Well, let's do some more sound making. Yeah. Think about where the young person you work with on their body has the most control or the most movement, and you can offer those instruments to that body part. But maybe introduce that instrument by touch. I've got a nice one here, lots of shells. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel on your hands? Might be really sensitive on arms. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel on your arms? And feet can be really sensitive, so maybe pressing the sole of your feet on something that has some texture or bobbles to it on your feet. Claire is Anouk's mum. Great. Hey Claire, thanks for letting us know. And also looking close or trying some different distances. You'll know what kind of focus works best or location works best for your young people. If they've got slight visual impairment, maybe one side is better, maybe really close is good. What does it look like? So introduce these sound makers in all sorts of ways. Does it smell? And model it, smelling it. How does it smell? And then, of course, how does it sound? How does it sound? How does it sound? Tell me what you're playing out there. Margot was playing the foil, and I'm going to run through a few different instruments in a minute. And once you've found that optimal location and way to approach an instrument, you could sing a little chant when that young person makes that sound. So the foil blanket is a definite favourite. Yeah, that's Margot's sound, isn't it? I haven't got mine with me. But you could sing, when you're making these sounds, Margot, that's your sound. Margot, that's your sound. Margot, that's your sound. And sometimes leave that little pause to see if they create that sound in anticipation. So Sophie's vocalizing. I'm really lucky. I've got some really nice instruments, but think about what they're made of. If they're made of metal, they're probably really quite cold. And you could think about sharing that cool feeling in different areas. It's so cold. It's so cold. It's so cold on your cheek. It's so cold. It's so cold. It's so cold in your hands. And sing the how does it feel? And sing about where a person's playing it. So what could you sing? You could sing playing with your elbow. She's playing with her elbow. Playing with her elbow. Playing with your elbow. Okay, so if foil is a favourite for some of you out there, tell me what other instruments you've got there. If it's completely different, I'll try and join in with something I've got to hand. But what about some bubble wrap? We're all regular users of Amazon and similar services nowadays, so bubble wrap can be lots of fun. And again, loads of interesting ways to look through it. What can you see? What can you see? What can you see? Make a little chants up. This might feel really nice under feet or resting your arms on it. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel on your feet? And what about the lovely sound? You could help somebody pop. We're popping. We're popping. You could do this quite close to the ears. We're popping. Very giggly on her feet. I think that's Margot. Lots of different ways to make the sound from it. You can give it a good twist for lots of pops. Give it a twist. Give it a twist. Give it a twist. It can work really well, especially large amounts of it under a wheelchair and roll the wheels over it slowly in a very quiet environment and hear that sound rolling over it. Holding both ends and letting someone hold it while you pop. How does it feel? How does it sound? How does it look for you? So have fun with bubble wrap in lots of different ways. Store it up. Have a little bubble wrap drawer. Very giggly on your feet and vocalizing. What else shall we do? Let's have a look at a little pot of something interesting to stir. These are my shells. And someone that maybe hasn't got the grip to hold something, if you offer a bowl, this is maybe a bit small, of something interesting for someone to explore and stir. We're stirring. We're stirring. We're stirring with a nuke. We're stirring. We're stirring. We're stirring with a nuke. Oh, wide-eyed and intrigued by that sound. We're stirring. We're stirring. We're stirring with Margot. We're stirring. We're stirring. We're stirring with Margot. We're stirring. We're stirring. We're stirring with Jessica. Maybe some with a bigger bowl. You could be grabbing and dropping. We're dropping. We're dropping. We're dropping the shells with Jessica. We're dropping. We're dropping. We're dropping those shells with Jessica. Big enough bowl. I think you could probably get your feet in it and feel with your feet. Take some out and explore some different ways to make sounds with them. And smell. And feel. So I think you're getting the idea. And making these little chants up, using the name regularly and leaving gaps for that sound to happen again. Let's get a bit of rhythm going. So tambourine, lots of different ways to feel it. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel with your hands? Anouk is really poorly. Oh, Anouk, I'm sorry to hear you're poorly, but very concentrated and listening. So maybe Anouk, if you were exploring this, you might try some different ways. Some people I've worked with don't use the top of a tambourine at all, but if placed in the right place, they can reach out and they're drawn to the shiny part. It's cold and it's shiny and it reflects the light. So maybe that's an interesting part. To find, and feet can stamp on it. How will you play? How will you play? How will you play the tambourine? How will you play? How will you play? How will you play the tambourine? Could be feet, it could be... I've seen someone playing with their mouth. Some people might like the feel of it, and you can really hear it well if you're laying your face on it. Scratch, scratch that skin. Scratch, scratch that skin. Scratch, scratch that skin. Scratch, scratch that skin. Jessica. Margot. Anouk. are listening. And then a nice thing about a tambourine is it's a bit of a bowl as well. So you could put conkers, marbles, shells, sound makers, a whole host of different things to explore. And you've got lots of different ways to create sound with very little. Oh, and coins, why not? To drop, to stir, to shake. So let your imagination go wild. Every instrument has numerous ways to engage with it, visually, sonically, through touch, through smell, and see what your young people enjoy the most. Big smile and vocalization for her name. Right, well, let's do a bit more with names. And here's my little bowl of soapy water as well. And if you get the bubbles going, not near electronics, there's lots to look at and stir and feel. Margot, Margot, Margot is listening. Jessica, Jessica, Jessica is listening. It could drip slowly. Anouk, Anouk, Anouk is listening. And you can look at these bubbles, hear them popping. Don't know if you can hear that. So lots of different sensory play just with a simple bowl of washing up liquid and water. Okay. Well, let me explain this app as we move on. We've talked about lots of different ways to play and use the different senses with simple instruments. And you wouldn't rush through them like I just did. You'd maybe focus on one for that whole music time that you have in the week and come to another one a different time, but bring back and repeat and come back to sound makers you've used and keep that repetition going, and it builds up this catalogue of ways to make sounds and sensory experiences. So, creatability with Google.com. And if you put the link in the description down there into any browser, it doesn't have to be an iPad. It could be, I don't think it works on phones, but laptops, you could cast it up from an iPad, or if you can access the internet on a telly, it's going to work for you. There's a bit of navigation to get there. You'll probably get a list of options first. And there's lots of different ones to try, but the one we're looking at today is the sampler. So it looks like that. And we had it at the start of the session. You can either have a tutorial or just dive straight in. Launch experiment. Start playing. And we've got these 4 nice big visual circles with sounds on. Hope this isn't too loud. Nice short sounds. I apologise if that was too loud. Just getting the volume right for you guys. So what I'm going to try and show you now, hopefully, yeah, I think we can see this, is not only can you touch to play, you go down to this tracking area just here. And you can swap from keyboard or mouse to body. And it's going to initialize the camera on your device. And then what you'll see is a little picture of you underneath here. And it's going to track the movement of your nose. And you can also set it to a different body part. So I'm going to try and show you this a little bit. Here we go. Body track settings. It's set to nose at the minute. I'm going to change it to, and you've got a choice of elbow, knee, ankle, wrist. So let's try wrist. See if it finds my wrist. Here we go. You need a fair bit of light for this to work. And of course, it's not working for me right now. Okay, I'm going to let you have a little play with that. And it's pretty intuitive as far as using these settings down the side and setting body tracking or touch or mouse tracking. The only other thing which is nice is you can add custom sounds. So if you've got some favorite little samples, or maybe you've gone out and recorded some sounds of wind in the trees, or the young person you're with is vocalized and you've been able to capture it on your phone, or you've got a favorite song, or you're going to collect some sounds in different spaces, outdoors or in the bathroom, you can load them on by choosing the file from your internal memory and then apply them to these little sounds. So have a little play with that, and I'll talk about some new apps and other technology-based sound making in the coming weeks. Let's do just a little bit more rhythm, shall we? Because I've talked for a while there. So if you've got any sound makers, let's have a little go with the tambourine. Who's listening? Who's listening? Who's listening to the tambourine? Who's listening? Who's listening? Who's listening to the tambourine? Who's listening? Who's listening? Who's listening for the tambourine? Margot's looking. Margot's looking. Margot's looking for the tambourine. Jessica's listening. Jessica's listening. Jessica's listening to the tambourine. Anouk is listening. Anouk is listening. Anouk is listening to the tambourine. Margot's chatting. Margot's chatting. Margot's chatting along with the tambourine. Everyone's listening. Everyone's listening. Everyone's listening to the tambourine. Everyone's listening. Everyone's listening. Everyone's listening to the tambourine. Well, it sounds like we've had some fantastic listening today. Anouk, everyone at Soundabout and everyone here at Little Soundabout, hope you get better soon. Jessica, also, we're sending our best wishes to. Margot, thank you for joining in. Sounds like you were doing some really good listening today. And we've gone through all sorts of ways to approach sound making. I've rushed through them, but you could focus on just the one thing and try all those different ways and add those chants about body parts and use the name lots and then put that silence in. And yeah, have a look at that app and have a look at some of the other ones. They're really quite simple, quite intuitive. And I'm hatching a plan to maybe use them to trigger some of those sounds, some of those feelings and wants. How are you feeling? Happy inside it. So we'll work onto that in a few weeks. Oh, that's a nice idea, Kerry. Jessica is listening as you tap in time on her back. So that's a really nice way to help someone feel the rhythm of a piece of music if they're not in a position where they can create the sound themselves. You can tap on the back to the rhythm. You can tap on their back or their feet to the rhythm. You can tap on the back. You can tap on their back to the rhythm. You can tap on their back, tap on their back. Then you suddenly stop. What happens? Do they give you a signal for more, a giggle, a vocalization, a movement? I've got to sing goodbye now. Tap on their back, tap on their hands, tap on their knees. You could tap on their feet, tap on their head, tap on their shoulders, then stop, stop, then go. Margot singing. Oh, Margot singing. Margot singing. Margot singing. It's time to finish. We've come to the end. Now it's time to stop. Thanks for coming to music. We've come to the end. Now it's time to stop. Thanks for coming to music. Goodbye, Anouk. Goodbye. Goodbye, Anouk. Goodbye. Goodbye, Anouk. Goodbye. Thanks for coming to music. Goodbye, Margot. Goodbye. Goodbye, Margot. Goodbye. Goodbye, Margot. Goodbye. Thanks for coming to music. Goodbye, Jessica. Goodbye. Goodbye, Jessica. Goodbye. Goodbye, Jessica. Goodbye. Thanks for coming to music. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Thanks for coming to music. Thank you. That was loads of fun. See you next week at 10:30 or this afternoon at 2 p.m. on Facebook. I'm doing a live and we're going camping in the wild, wild woods. So come and join us for some nature sounds. See ya.